this stick mobility session, I decided to create a yoga fusion workout because yoga and stick mobility really complement one another, and they have a lot of the same benefits like stress relief, building strength and improving balance, and better body awareness. So we'll be using one stick. I will be using my shorter 5-foot stick, and I'll leave a link in the description below for where you can get your stick mobility sticks along with a discount code. Now, you do not need to be a yogi to do this workout. All of these yoga-based movements are beginner, and we're going to be using that stick to help get us into these poses and postures. So let's get to it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the bell for notifications, like this video, share it with your friends and family, and be sure to come back to this stick mobility playlist for more.
Grabbing your stick, we're going to begin by warming up with a few sun salutations. So holding the stick with two hands, feet are hip distance apart, we're going to bring that stick to heart center. I want you to shorten the stick anytime it's in heart center. Sweep your arms up, pull that stick apart as you reach up overhead, forward fold. Halfway lift, fold. Sweep your arms up overhead and return to heart center, shortening that stick. Let's go again. Sweep your arms up overhead, pulling that stick apart. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold and release. Sweep your arms up, pulling that stick apart. And return to heart center. Let's add on with a W pull now. Sweep your arms up overhead, pulling that stick apart. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Sweep your arms up overhead, pulling that stick apart, and you're going to pull down behind your head into a W. Press that stick up overhead, forward fold. Halfway lift, fold forward. Sweep up, reach up, and return to heart center. Let's go for one more just like that. Sweep your arms up overhead, fold forward. Halfway lift, fold and release. Sweep your arms up overhead and pull down into a W. Reach up, pull up overhead, fold forward. Halfway lift, fold and release. Sweep your arms up overhead and shorten that stick as you come back to heart center. Beautiful work. We're taking a moment here in our heart center before we enter our tree pose series. Sweep your arms up overhead, pull that stick apart, forward fold. We halfway lift, fold and release. Pulling that stick apart, we sweep up overhead. Stick will come down onto the ground in the left hand, left knee comes up, push that stick down into the ground, find your tree pose. Reach that right arm up towards the sky, arm comes down, knee comes up. Return your foot down to standing and sweep your arms up overhead and forward fold. Halfway lift, fold and release. Sweep up, pulling that stick apart, overhead, and return to heart center. Let's go again on the other side. Sweep up overhead, forward fold. Halfway lift, fold and release. Sweep your arms up overhead. Stick will come down to the right side, right knee comes up as you press that stick down into the ground. Find your tree pose, feel free to use your hand like you see me doing. Reach that left hand up towards the sky. Hand comes down, knee comes up. Come back to standing and sweep your arms up overhead. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold and release. Sweep your arms up overhead, pulling that stick apart, and return to heart center, shortening that stick. Feel free to stick with this variation, or you can add on for a little more intensity with me. Sweep your arms up overhead, pulling that stick apart, and forward fold. Halfway lift, we fold and release. We're going to pull that stick apart, reach up overhead, lift your left knee, find your tree pose. Pulling that stick apart, breathe, bring your hands to heart center, shortening that stick, return your knee to center, stand back down, sweep your arms up overhead, forward fold. Halfway lift, fold and release. Sweep your arms up overhead, pulling that stick apart, and return to heart center. Once more on the other side, sweep the arms up, pulling that stick apart, forward fold. We halfway lift and fold forward. Sweep your arms up, right knee lifts up, find your tree. Bring your hands down to heart center, shortening that stick. Knee comes forward. Step it down, sweep your arms up overhead, and forward fold. Halfway lift, fold and release. Pull that stick apart, reach up, and return to heart center, shortening that stick. Beautiful job. Take a breath, take a moment. We're going to bring our feet together for a chair series. With hands at heart center, shorten that stick. Sweep your arms up as you find your chair. Bring your hands down into heart center, shortening that stick, and fold forward. Halfway lift, fold and release. Sweep up into your chair. Hands come to heart center, shortening that stick. You're going to twist over to the right side. Stick can touch down onto the ground. Take a breath. Return to heart center. Straight away, we're going over to the other side. Let that stick touch down to the ground and use it as leverage to get into that deeper twist. Return to heart center. Sweep your arms up in that chair. Stand all the way up. And take a well-deserved forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Pulling that stick apart as you reach up all the way up to standing and return to heart center. Let's go for one more just like that. We sweep our arms up into chair. Find your heart center. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold and release. We sweep up into chair. Find your heart center, shortening that stick. Twist over to the right side. Let the stick touch the ground. Return to heart center. Twist over to the left. Return to heart center. Arms up in that chair, pulling that stick apart. Go ahead and stand all the way up. And forward fold. Beautiful job. Halfway lift, fold and release. Pulling that stick apart, sweep your arms up to standing and find your heart center. Beautiful job. Go ahead and take a moment, shake it out. We have one more little warrior flow to complete this series. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see me and move to the front of your mat. Feet are hip width apart. Let's take one more nice inhale and exhale. And pulling that stick apart, sweep your arms up overhead, forward fold. Halfway lift, fold and release. Step your right foot back, and when you're ready, rise up into a crescent lunge. Pulling that stick apart, you're going to turn your back foot into a warrior one. Bring your hands forward and adjust your grip so you're doing a warrior two, holding the very ends of the stick as you see I am. Readjust your grip for that heart center. Press that stick up overhead and down into a side angle. Straighten that front leg, find your triangle. Take a nice deep breath here. Return to your side angle. Pulling that stick apart, reach your arms up overhead and find your reverse warrior. Cartwheel both hands all the way down. Bring that back foot forward, and you're in your forward fold. Halfway lift, fold and release. Sweep your arms up overhead, pull that stick apart, come down to heart center. We just have that one other side, and then we're done today. Sweep your arms up overhead, forward fold. Halfway lift, fold and release. Step that left foot back, find your crescent lunge, pulling that stick apart as you rise. Turn your back foot so you're in warrior one. Bringing that stick down to about chest height, shortening the stick with your arms wide for that warrior two position. Adjust your grip to return to heart center. Pull that stick apart, lift up overhead, and come down for a side angle. Nice deep breath here. Extend that front leg long for your triangle. Return to your side angle, pull that stick apart as you lift up overhead, find your reverse warrior. Cartwheel both hands all the way down, bring that back foot forward, and you're in your forward fold. Halfway lift, fold and release. Pull that stick apart, sweep your arms up overhead, and return to heart center. Wonderful job, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Let's get into our cool down. Bringing that stick up overhead, and you're going to rest it down on your shoulders. Extend your arms long for a few delicious side bends. Feel free to move at your own pace. This should feel really great. Feeling that beautiful stretch in the lateral lines of the body. Let's do one more on each side. Coming back to center, bring that stick down, set one end down so that we can do a few stir the pots. Bottom end of the stick is closer to your feet and you're just twisting, really releasing your back, letting go of any tension. Let's do 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Staying in the same position, and now let's just do a few cat-cows as a wonderful release for the spine. I want to thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you enjoyed this stick mobility yoga fusion session. I'd love to hear how you got on with this workout in the comments, and please feel free to reach out to me via any of my social medias to let me know of any other requests or suggestions you might have. If you enjoyed this workout, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you again.